Okay, if you are ready, let's go. Today, our topic is basic understanding of distribution. So, I'm sure you heard about the term GDS, OTA, Central Reservation System, Meta Search, and so on. So, today, you will be able to understand what they are. On Monday, we had a very big news in travel industry. Anybody heard about it? We had a very big news. I'm going up in order to see you better. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We had a very big news in travel industry. Yeah, one of the oldest travel agents in UK went bankrupt. I'm sure you heard about their name, Thomas Cook. It was everywhere. A lot of news was talking about this event. So Thomas Cook was one of the oldest travel agents. How old? How old do you think Thomas Cook was? Older than us? If I remember correctly, this travel agent is over 170 years old, 178. So very old. So that is why this agent bankruptcy has become news. I was looking at a few different articles about this, and I found one article subject which was representing the situation. Newspaper article from New York Times was summarizing the situation. How could travel giant Thomas Cook fail? Its package tour business model was successful for 178 years. But as consumer demand changed and moved online, the company did not. So this is what happened. This is why it happened. Consumer behavior has changed from traditional way of booking their travel to online, and company did not. That's why they failed. They even have an airline. So airline also went bankrupt together with travel agent. In order for us to understand the situation, let's go back to marketing 4P. If you attended GM's class for sales and marketing, we talked about it briefly. Anybody can name 4 P's of marketing? Oh, very good. Yeah, I can see that some of you were awake. Right? So in case you were sleeping, let me repeat. Marketing 4P presents product, promotion, place, and price. And this concept has been there for a long time. So marketing is not new study, right? So for a long time, there have been a lot of studies and researches, and this marketing 4P has been recognized as a main explanation of marketing activities. Problem is, now this became traditional model. So we need to reinterpret the meaning, matching to the current situation. Especially as a hotelier, we want to adopt the concept into hotel industry. We can put it this way. When it comes to price, we know that we talked about revenue management. Okay? So when we talk about marketing, it is called price. But as a hotelier, we do not want to call it price. We call it room rate. We call it banquet price, room rental price. And then we will exercise the concept of yield management, and furthermore, we want to practice revenue management in order for us to maximize the potential revenue utilizing limited inventory and our capacities. When it comes to product, also the concept has been changed recently. Before, when we talk about hotel product, we were talking about how many restaurants we have, how many rooms we have, and what is the room type, and what kind of amenities we use. Everything was about tangible things. Now, what's important in hotel industry in terms of product is intangible product. We call it experience. And we are now smart enough to recognize it. What's important is what gets experience, and we trace it, we follow up, and then we analyze. That's how trust you has been developed. That's how the TripAdvisor appeared as a big business. So we know now what's important is guest feedback. Promotion used to be one-way communication. So we make a product, and then we try to let market know that we have this special deal or special price, special product. That was called promotion. Now, what's important is not promotion. Promotion is too tactical. It's too small, too one-off. What we need is strategy, more long-lasting. So now we call it communication. That's why marketing manager title doesn't exist anymore. We call them MarCom, because we need to do marketing plus communication. Communication with who? Market. Communication is not one way. Communication is two ways. We listen to market. We ask for the feedback. We hear what they complain about. We hear what they are happy about. And then we adjust our product and service according to what market is saying. We care about what they say on our social media. We care about the TripAdvisor comment. We care about the Google comments. And we follow up. We adjust our service and product. That is whole process of communication. So we can see that everything is changing in terms of marketing. Place is the one which has been changed in a more dramatic way. Okay? And today we are going to talk about this place. Let's review what's the definition of place in terms of marketing. If we look for the definition of place in Google, it says providing the product at a place which is convenient for consumers to access. Yes, so we need to find the right location in order for us to sell what we want to sell to the market. So, in order for us to be successful as a travel agent, long time ago, location was very important. So you has to be located in high street, like Thomas Cook. Thomas, you go to UK, you walk on the street in London, you see a lot of Thomas Cook. Why? Because they are the oldest, which means they had the privilege to choose the right location because they are the first one, right? So they had all the good spots on the high street in order to contact the guest in the most comfortable way, convenient way for the consumer. The problem is, even though they had all the good locations, they went bankrupt. Why? Because today, in situations where actual transaction does not happen on the web, the initial place potential clients are engaged and converted is online. So what we are saying is now many people buy things online. But the bigger problem is not only buying transaction. Before they buy, they also search. And that activity is all happening in online, on internet. That is why now we don't call place anymore. We call it distribution. Especially when it comes to hotel, we all know that, for example, EB style, 50% of our booking is coming through distribution. So let's see how distribution world has been built up. So we have to go very far. The history is very long. So we have to go up to 1970s. And then we will be able to see what has happened in terms of our distribution. This is current situation. We have a hotel, Ibis-style, the Hotel Bogo, and we utilize distribution channel for us to sell, for us to promote. And those distribution channels, we heard about meta search, we heard about OTA, online travel agency, we heard about direct, our accordhotels.com, novotel.com, ibisstyles.com. We also heard about GDS. And in order for us to understand distribution, we have to start with which one? GDS. Why? Because this is the oldest. So we need to understand what GDS is first before we move on to another one. GDS, first of all, let's remember it stands for Global Distribution System. Okay? As a hotelier, at least we need to know GDS means Global Distribution System. Another thing we need to know is GDS has been developed after we have this computer network. So this is based on computer network system using real-time inventory. This is very important concept, real-time inventory. Why is it important? Because traditionally, just imagine you are a travel agent. You have a guest in front of you. They said, I want to go to Korea. Can I book a flight? Okay, so you are a travel agent. And what you need to do is you have to call Garuda. You have to call Korean Air. You have to call Asiana Air and then ask, I have a guest in front of me. Okay, do you have a flight seat available on the 18th of October? Okay, and then if they say yes, okay, how much is it? Is there any promotion? If we are lucky, sometimes they don't answer the phone. Okay, so by having this GDS, which is computer system, you just type in what do you need, and then the computerized system called GDS will give you the availability and the best price available, time of the flight, and so on. So that is revolution in terms of the booking process. It was a totally different way of booking. Before, everything was manual. Just imagine there's no computer system, which means you called airline and we could have this situation. There's another person on the line with another agent. So I call Garuda, but maybe there's 5 more people calling Garuda. And there was maybe only 2 seats left. Okay? And by the time I called, 2 seats were available, but during the conversation, these 2 seats were sold by the other agent. So maybe there could be double booking. So that could be very complicated without computerized network system. So GDS was something wow. Okay? That's what we need to remember. Yeah, it's wow. First form of e-commerce for B2B. Okay? This is terminology we use quite often. So in case you are not familiar with, we have a B2B, we have a B2C. B2C means business to customer. B2B means business to business. So we can see that GDS is not B2C, it's a B2B, business to business. So between who? Travel agency to airlines. Initially, it was for airlines, developed by airlines. Of course, they did not develop themselves. They worked together with a very famous company called IBM. So, Sabre is the first generation of GDS developed by American Airlines around 1970s. That's why we said we need to go back 50 years. So around 50 years, you can see that airline had a lot of talents, very, very smart people. Around 1970s, everything was happening in this period. there was a very smart people working for airlines, and they developed not only GDS, at the same time they developed the concept of yield management. They developed revenue management system. That's how it happened at the same time during this period. There's another GDS called Amadeus, 1987, and this time it's very expensive to develop one system like this. So 4 airlines made the funding together, and then they developed this system. Air France, Iberia is a Spanish airline. Okay. Lufthansa is German airline, and then we have a SAS, Scandinavian airline system. Okay. Galileo was appearing in 1993, and this time, yes, so they know that GDS is very important, and then many different airlines made the funding together. So it's not only from one company. So you can see North American, European Airlines, Air Canada, Australian Airlines, British Airways, okay, KLM, Olympic Airlines, Dutch Airlines, so many airlines together. And then we have a World Span, 1990, developed by Delta Airline and Northwest Airline and American Airline. American Airline also attended 26% of the funding, even though they already had Sabre. So you can see different airlines develop different GDS so that they can communicate with travel agent. So they develop GDS and they go to the travel agent and saying, please install this computer system, and then we can communicate. You can check my real-time availability. You can check my real-time price, and you can make a booking directly. You don't need to call me. You don't need to send me the fax. Okay? That's how airline became very rich. And we can see that which area travel agent was using what kind of system. If you go to America, North America, South America, everybody is using Sabre and World Span. If we go to Europe, everybody is using Amadeus. So depending on the location of the travel agent, different GDS it has been used, because it has been developed by different airlines. In the beginning, airline didn't mean that from America to Brazil, right? In the beginning, the people traveled within the same area, yes? From New York to Washington, okay? Vancouver to Toronto, Paris to London. That's why the older travel agent was using the GDS developed by the airline operating in the region. You heard about GDS fee? GDS fee. Okay, so now we are getting into hotel industry. So hotel woke up very late. We did not have a lot of smart people, so we realized that we are so behind. Airline is already making a lot of money. They already have a GDS system. They are so in advance. They have implemented revenue management system. It's amazing, right? So we approach the airline saying that at the moment, if our guest wants to make a booking with my hotel, they have to call us. They have to send a fax. It's very inconvenient. So I want to utilize your system. Can I have access to your GDS? And GDS system was smart enough to accommodate hotel bookings. Initially, it was developed only for the airline bookings, but now the system has been upgraded so that you can make a booking for hotels, you can make a booking for car rentals, and so on. Cruise, everything, even package. So, hotel have decided to use GDS because we didn't have our own system. Of course, we had our central reservation system. So Hilton had a Hilton own central reservation system. Okay, Marriott had a Marriott own central reservation system. Accor has our TAS, but we cannot communicate. The task is within our code, right? Yeah. So we enter the booking, it's within our own system. It doesn't communicate with the travel agent. So what we need is communication between the hotel and travel agent. That was not possible apart from the phone call or fax. There was no email. Okay? So we decided, okay, let's borrow the system and we will pay some money. Usually hotels pay $4 or $5 per booking as a booking fee. Now we understand GDS, right? Very easy, yeah? Nothing complicated. GDS is now not very active. Why? Why GDS is not active? Because GDS was developed for communication between hotel and travel agent, right? But there's no travel agency anymore. They all went bankrupt. Even Thomas Cook went bankrupt, right? So now, when you walk on the street, there are not many travel agents on the street. So they have been replaced by some other new business model, and that is called OTA, direct channel, meta search. So let's check what they are. Here's the summary on how hotel guests make a booking. We try to simplify the process. So we have a guest, we have a traveler, and initially the guest will do some search. Right? So many of, including me, I always go to Google. So if I want to go to Bali, yeah, I go to Google and say cheap flight to Bali. I don't know if you do expensive flight. In my case, cheap flight to Bali, okay, from Jakarta to Bali. Yeah, so we use Google for search, okay? And then we use meta search. Okay? Maybe you didn't heard about the term meta search, but you always use it already. Okay? Meta search means these people are very smart. They don't really have a lot of resources. They don't have a big office, but they had an idea. I think I can make money if I collect the price from different channels and make a summary. That's what they did. So I meta search, for example, let's say Trivago or Sky Scanner. Okay? So I just have access to, I made an agreement with all the online travel agency and airlines and collect the data in real time, and then I just list up. Yeah. And then, okay, so if I want to go to Bali, okay, how much is the Ryanair? How much is the Garuda? How much is the CityLink? Yeah, and then list up and then show it to me. So if I make a booking through this Sky Scanner, which is a meta search, the meta search will get some commission from airline I choose. Very, very smart idea. And direct, which means travelers sometimes know what to do. They don't hesitate. They don't need to search. So they just go directly to hotels.com, directly to bookings.com, or directly go to Groupon. They know what to do. They are already loyal to some channels. Could be possible. And then we have a booking offer channel. So we have a hotel website, which is called direct bookings, direct channels. We have online travel agencies, and we have others. Okay, others. We talked about social commerce. You remember? Okay, the most successful one at the moment is called Luxury Escape. So if you use internet often, you will see a lot of advertisement coming from Luxury Escape. They advertise 5 nights in Bali, usually $4,000 and it's now 2,000. So that is called social commerce, and that is a business model which is quite different from hotel website or online, because they are making a discount which is combination of marketing and sales. Now, because we talked about meta search, I will show you some examples. So as usual, I put cheap flight ticket from Jakarta to Bali. And then Google will give you this screen. You choose the departure date and arrival date. And then you have Air Asia, how much, Lion Air, Batik Air, CityLink. Okay? And depending on your mileage membership and also your preference and your character, you are super price sensitive like me, or you are quality sensitive. So you may want to go for Singapore Airline, okay, if you are crazy, or yeah, if you are a reasonable person, maybe Garuda. But for your information, I bought CityLink. Okay, so because this time my parents coming as well. Okay, so yeah, this is a meta search. So because I chose CityLink from Google search, CityLink has to pay commission to Google. Another example would be TripAdvisor. Not many people know that TripAdvisor is meta search. Of course, this is a new business model. They just started to do that a year ago. So if you go to TripAdvisor, you put hotel search in Bogor, this is what you get. Number one best value hotel to stay in Bogor is, of course, the Hotel Bogor, because at the moment we are quite selling affordable price, right? So our value is very, very high. Here, under our name, you have different channels appearing. You have Agoda, you have hotels.com, you have expedia.com, trip.com, and also 6 other channels selling the Hotel Bogor. This is meta search. Okay? So you click one of these channel, and then if you click it, for example, if I click this here, I will be directed to agoda.com, and then I will be making booking. And if I make a booking successfully, Agoda has to pay commission to TripAdvisor. That is how meta search is working. And you could have raised some concerns or questions. Why agoda.com is not here? Very good question. Problem is, this is very, very expensive. We have a limited budget for digital marketing. Every year, we have certain amount of budget set for digital marketing. And that digital marketing will be utilized for mainly searching engine campaign, searching engine marketing, and then display marketing. And then we have some funding also allocated for meta search. But because the amount of money is so small, we cannot utilize all the time. We make a bidding with a competitive amount, but sometimes we fail because other channels are putting a lot of money. It's a bidding basis, and commission is very, very high. And when it comes to online travel agency, they put everything they have for marketing activities. We are in a very challenging situation to compete with the online travel agency. That's why you hardly see our direct channel here. Most popular hotel franchise methods. Okay, so here are purchase methods. Here you can see in America, okay, as an example, what kind of a percentage of the customer book through what kind of channel. The data is quite new. It's 2015. It's not very, very old. Of course, this has been changed again, but we can see that this is what's happening in US, which means it could happen in Asia by 2-3 years time, because US is usually a little bit advanced. So back in 2012, what happened was out of 100, 10 bookings were made by meta search. Very, very in advance, right? Because 4 years ago, I don't think we really knew about meta search. And 23% was direct booking. 34% was OTA, 5% still walk-in, and we have a 5% still retail travel agent, which means GDS. Okay, GDS 5%, and then calling supplier, so still direct booking, but it's not through the accorhotels.com. This is coming from telephone. This slide is the most important slide for you to take home today. Okay? Once you are able to read and understand this slide, today's class is done. Okay? It has everything you need to know about distribution. Okay? So once again, we have a traveler, we have a guest, and this diagram is showing what kind of channel, what kind of media the guest will go through in order for him or her to make a booking with property. Let's see. So I call it Hotel Distribution Summary. First of all, central reservation system. So you need to understand that there is a central reservation system for most of chain hotels. If you are independent hotel, you utilize reservation system provided by some big company. Okay? But if you are a big hotel like Accor, we develop our own system. We call it CRS. So CRS is our central reservation system. In the case of Accor, it is called TAS. Okay? TAS stands for Travel Accor Reservation System. Okay, so initially you can see that it was developed to accommodate reservation process. Now we are utilizing for many different things, right? We are using it for commission payment. We are using it for AJA, okay, rate loading. Okay? We are using it for RFP, lookup. Okay? Anyway, so central reservation system is there, and that is connected to property management system. So we know this term PMS, right? So PMS is connected to our Accor central reservation system. Okay? Up to here we know already. Next, we already learned about GDS. Okay? So once again, GDS was developed by airlines. Okay? So Sabre, Galileo, we have Amadeus, and this GDS was initially developed for the communication between airlines and travel agencies. And hotels start to pay the fee to utilize the communication channel. And hotel was able to receive the bookings from travel agents using this GDS. So very traditional way of business. Has been there for a long time. For a long time, GDS contributed for our hotel business growth. Okay? It was the most important channel. But now it is fading away. And we already talked about meta search, right? So recently developed. Okay? If you go to Google, Travago, Kayak, we have this meta search who was collecting all the data from different business units and then give us the analysis and comparison for in terms of the price for the exactly same product, so that it makes our choice easier. Aggregators. I was not very familiar with this term, so I was looking for the definition and I realized aggregator is similar to meta search. So we can call Skyscanner as an aggregator. Aggregating means you collect the data. Okay? So basically the concept is the same as meta search, but meta search is focusing on searching. Okay? And aggregator is more to confirm, to create the confirmation and then create the business. But initially the concept was almost same. So we don't need to really worry about this new term. Tour operator, and then we have a wholesaler. So let's try to understand. We have a travel agent, and we have a tour operators. We have a wholesalers. So what's the difference? So we have to understand this as a hotelier. tour operators create package. I'm tour operator. I create tour and I sell tour. I'm not selling airline. I'm not selling rental car. I'm not selling hotel room. I sell tour. So in order for me to create the package, I contact all the business unit one by one. So I contact Hotel A saying, I need 4 rooms per day. What is the price? And until when you can guarantee these 4 rooms? And then you get the allotment. And then you contact airline. I need the airline seat. Okay? How many can I buy from you? Okay? And what is the cut-off date? And you contact car company. I need the airport pickup. How much is the special price? So I contact all the industry-related business unit and I work on behalf of the market to create tour package. And this is quite useful when the world was a little bit beginning to travel, right? Long time ago, traveling was only privilege given to rich people or people with big titles. But now it's a bit different, right? So tour operators' role is going also fading away. Why? Because we are not stupid anymore. We know what to do. We can make a booking ourselves. We can contact the hotel. We speak English. I know how to use the internet. Yeah? I can make a contract with a rental car company. So I don't really need to pay premium to buy tours anymore. And also our generation, I sound like too young. Your generation, okay? You do not want a fixed schedule, right? We want freedom during our tour. We want to do whatever we want. We do not want to follow the tour guide. Yeah? So this tour operator's role was very, very strong before when nobody was speaking English, when nobody was able to make a booking, but now it is getting fading away. Okay? Wholesaler, similar concept as tour operator, except for wholesaler does only one business industry. So I am wholesaler for hotel. I do only hotel. But how do I make money? I buy in bulk. So, for example, I'm Mickey Travel. I'm Gullivers. Okay? And hotel knows that this Gulliver Travel has a lot of purchasing power because Gulliver has a contract with like 1 million small travel agencies. Okay? And I receive special rate from hotel. I contact Accor and say, okay, I'm Gulliver. Who are you? And Accor says, I'm Accor. Can I buy 50,000 room night per year? And Accor will be very happy, right? So what is the special price? And Accor will say, can I give you 25% discount? Deal. And they sign contract. So wholesale means you buy in bulk, right? So wholesaler bought in bulk, paying 25% less. And they will sell this room into small retail travel agent. And they mark up. So how much they mark up? Let's say maybe 15%. Okay. So when the small travel agent receive the price from wholesalers, the price is still 10% cheaper than public rate, right? So the small travel agent can mark up 10% and sell to the customer. And from customer point of view, the rate they receive from small travel agent is the same as buying from hotel directly. It is called LDR rate, leisure distribution rate. And leisure distribution rate is usually 25% discounted from most selling PP rate, our public rate. The reason is if we give 25% discount, they will mark up 15%, sell to the small agent will mark up 10 more percent. So eventually there will be rate parity. That was the behind story. The problem is we made that deal with the wholesalers, but recently from 2010, 12, these wholesalers has made a new business model. They used to work as only wholesaler, which means they are B2B, right? Because selling to small travel agent. They are not B2C. Problem is, recently they have developed their own online travel agent. Okay? They developed the online, which means they are able to sell to B2C. And they have a contract with the hotels. So they have a 25% discounted rate signed by a hotel. And they are utilizing that rate on their online. So from customer point of view, if I look the rate from hotel직.com and their own wholesaler online rate, it is 25% cheaper than hotel's rate, right? That's why recently, last year, Accor had decided no more wholesaler. Because wholesaler was never allowed to sell our fixed rate, which is 25% discounted, LDR rate, on their online. But they are breaking the regulation. They are breaking the contract. That was why recently we gave up wholesaler. That's what you need to understand. Channel manager. Okay, so in this distribution world, we have another term called channel manager. I think I was very lucky. I feel very lucky because I was working as a reservation manager and revenue manager during this revolutionary period. So I actually had the opportunity to work with channel manager, which was very, very lucky. Yeah. Channel manager means when I was revenue manager, like Stella, the volume of the job was very, very big. Why? For example, let's say we had a big group confirm for next Saturday. Usually Saturday we do not have a group, but we have just confirmed one group. So as a revenue manager, I have to take action, right? Otherwise, we will lose the opportunity to maximize the revenue. So my forecast is saying that I will be full, and plus I will have some business I have to displace. Okay, so as a revenue manager, I decided let me go ahead and close the standard room, and I also want to change my selling rate. So from PP7, I want to change to PP5, for example. Okay, I want to take two actions. Close the standard room, and then I change the rate from PP7 to PP5. So I go to my central reservation system. Right? I go to TAS, and I change my rate. And if TAS is connected to our PMS, I don't need to do PMS, right? But when I was revenue manager, I had to go to PMS as well. So I update central reservation system, and I go to my PMS, and I change my price again in PMS. Otherwise, my front office team doesn't know the rate change. So I change my central reservation system for my reservation team and hotel직.com, and I go to PMS to make sure that my front office team knows what kind of rate they want to sell. And also, I need to go to booking.com, agoda.com, lastminute.com. At the time, I think it was around 20. So I have to go to 20 different websites, one by one. It is called extranet. So they have developed the system admin page of each travel agent, online travel agent, and revenue manager have access, ID and password. I log in, and then I change standard room close, standard room close, standard close, and then I change the rate. And each extranet has different way of working. So one of the system, you just change PP. One of the system, you have to type the actual rate. So common mistake revenue manager used to make is you are supposed to type 1.5 million. You type 150,000. Yes, happens a lot. You get warning as a revenue manager. So that was what I used to do when I was revenue manager. And then I was shouting with joy because my general manager was purchasing a system called Channel Manager, Travel Click. Okay, this Travel Click was able to help revenue manager. You just go to the Travel Click and then update your rate, your availability, and this channel manager is doing for all the other channels, all interfaced. That is what channel manager was doing for the early stage of revenue management. Okay? Very smart, right? Smart model of business. it is still popular for the independent hotel. Okay? If you have only one hotel, two hotel, three hotel, you need channel manager. Otherwise, it's very difficult to deal with all the small and big online travel agencies, right? So if you go to local hotel, they are still using channel manager. But as a big hotel like Accor hotels, we don't use it. We don't need it because everything is interfaced. Switch. Okay, switch is also name of the system we need to understand for distribution flow. Okay, switch means before, like I said, everything has to be updated one by one. Now, hotels start to realize, look, something is wrong. Why I have to update everything? Can I just update my central reservation system and that will be communicating with all different channels? Is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible. Nothing is impossible for the human being, right? We are so smart. So there are super smart people who has developed this switch system. So we are using, in this hotel, we are using Pegasus. So what we are doing is, we update in TARS, and TARS will be connected to Booking.com and Agoda.com and Expedia.com, all different websites automatically, and make an update according to TARS. Why we need a switch? Because systems, two different systems, three different systems do not speak same language. Okay? Computer system has a language, and each system, if we do not use the same language, they cannot understand each other. Because I speak Korean, you speak Indonesian, how can we communicate? We have to speak same language. Same. So all the different system of online travel agent and then hotel system was speaking different language. What Switch did was, okay, look, you speak your own language, you speak your own language, I will translate. And then connect. Google Translate. That's how switches were developed. Okay? So another fantastic business model. TMC is just to let you know, travel management company. So if you are business travelers, big company like Samsung, Sony, or when they make a booking for CEO, directors, GMs, and branch managers, they do not make a booking themselves. They contact travel management company. They have a contract with one travel agent, and then they will do all the bookings on their behalf. Now we have online travel agencies. Okay? Most dominant one, most strong one at the moment. When it comes to online travel agent, we need to understand the business model. I think many people do not know this, but in our case, we mentioned a few times, so many of you have some understanding. Let's summarize what we are talking about. OTA has two business models. One is called merchant model, another one is called retail model. Merchant model and retail model, biggest difference is profit model. Merchant model make money based on discount. Retail model make money based on commission. Because of this, guests pay to different party. When it comes to merchant, guests will pay to OTA. If it is retail, guests will pay to the hotel. The most common example is Expedia and Agoda for merchant, Booking.com for retail. So if I am a customer, make a booking, my booking online through Expedia or Agoda.com, I'm paying to OTA. I'm not paying to the hotel. And if I make a booking on Booking.com, I have to pay on my departure at the hotel. That's the difference. So, with this understanding, we can calculate our profit. Let's say our selling price is 1 million. and our discount level or commission level is 15%, same. What happens is, guests will pay 1 million, right? It doesn't matter it is merchant model or retail model. There is a rate parity, so you go to agoda.com or expedia.com or booking.com, rate is same, 1 million. But ADR is different. Why? Because if guests make a booking through expedia.com or agoda.com, they pay to Expedia and Agoda 1 million. And Agoda and Expedia will discount 15% for their own profit and send only 850 to the hotel. So we receive 850. So if we check our PMS, rate will appear as 850. Booking.com is different. If guests book at 1 million, guests doesn't pay to the online travel agent. Guests will pay when they come to the hotel and on check out. So when they check out, of course, they will pay 1 million to us. We make 1 million, but we have to pay commission to Booking.com. If it is 15%, we will have expense of 150,000. Eventually, profit will be same, but it's different way of making money. Now, according to what I heard from Ibu Stella, they are trying to change the model between the agent, because some people do not feel very comfortable to pay on booking stage, right? They want to just guarantee the booking and pay to the hotel. And so now the Expedia and Agoda.com is trying to move the business model to Booking.com retail model. So that is some change we are expecting to see. Another term you want to remember in terms of distribution is called rate parity. Okay? Rate parity is quite important, okay? Because if we do not keep this provision on the contract, we will have to pay the penalty, we have to give a discount to the customer, and also our reputation for our own website is not really good. So for the same date, for the same product, rate has to be always the same regardless of channels. It doesn't matter what kind of channel the guests approach, the rate should be all same if we are selling for the same product for the same date. To make our understanding easy, if AccorHotels.com sell RA1, RA2, RA3, OTA also should receive same rate RA1, RA2, RA3. But if we close OTA, RA3, AccorHotels.com should be closed as well. If you are wondering what is RA1, RA2, RA3, RA1 means our main selling rate. We call it RA1 or L01 or rec rate, whatever it is. This is our public rate without any condition. Open rate to everyone. Anybody can book. It is RA1. RA2 means breakfast inclusive, compulsory. RA3 means we call it early bird. We call it hot deal. So there's a limitation for the booking window. You have to book this room, for example, 7 days prior to arrival, or 3 days prior to arrival, or sometimes if it is a big hotel, luxury hotel, 2 weeks prior to arrival, 1 month prior to arrival. So you have a condition and you have a discount, usually 10%, 15% discount. But on the other hand, if you book through RA3, you cannot amend, you cannot cancel. So no modification, no cancellation. So cheapest rate, if we close for the OTA, we have to close AccorHotels.com as well. It's impossible to close only OTAs. This situation, sometimes we want to maximize our profit. We do not want to pay our commission, and then we will choose to close OTA. It is okay as long as we close all the OTAs. If we close all the OTAs, all the rates, it's okay. We cannot close only one rate, but we can close entire big door. and that is possible. But as long as OTA is open, the rate cannot be different. If you work in reservation department, you sometimes have this challenge. Guests call you and saying that I'm calling from Singapore, I'm calling from Malaysia. Your rate on the website or your rate you gave me over the telephone is more expensive than Booking.com and Agoda.com, and what's going on? You get this complaint. The reason is very simple. It's guaranteed that rate parity is always kept. Why? Because we are using interface. If Stella make a decision for rate and update in our task, and the task will be sending the rate to Agoda.com, Expedia.com, and Booking.com. So there's no room for ourselves to have a mistake in terms of the rate. If it is PP5, it's PP5 everywhere. Why we still have a discrepancy between the channel? Because of the manipulation made by travel agent. Sometimes they delay the updates. Could be intentional, could be system error. Sometimes they do not update currency ratio. Okay? So Singapore dollar going down, for example. On purpose, they don't change it. So there's a many possibility, and sometimes they don't put tax, they don't put service charge. But eventually, if you go through all the booking process, at the end of the process, it is mandatory to show the rate in local currency. You cannot sell the room in Singapore dollar or Malaysian ringgit. If it is Indonesian hotel, at the end of the process of the booking has to be confirmed in rupiah. And if you check two rates in rupiah, it should be same. So that is how we need to explain to the guests if we have that kind of complaints. Before we close the section, I want to remind you about one thing, this situation. Okay? So we decide to close the OTA. You remember our revenue management golden rules? What was rule number 1? Restriction? Never? Yes. Oh, I have a good students. Restrictions never create demand. So it doesn't matter whatever you do, it is called restriction if you are revenue management. Okay? You close the room type, you close the channel, you close the package, whatever it is, you are making restrictions. And restrictions is not creating any business. So what I wanted to say was this. Here, you decide to close OTA, which means you are not creating anything. You are giving up some of the business. Here's the situation. We have 100 rooms. Our current forecast is 98%. Let's say we are 1 week prior to arrival. Okay? So we are one week prior to arrival date, and our forecast is 98%. We have 2 empty rooms we will have at the end of the business day. If we take no actions from revenue management perspective, our result will be similar to this, right? If our forecast accuracy is fantastic, like Stella's, we will finish this business day at 98%. There will be no change. And if we look at the components of our business, it could look like this. Because we have 98 rooms sold, and we want to know what kind of business are in there. So 98 rooms were consisting of Miles Government 20 rooms, Miles Corporate 30 rooms, Leisure Group 10 rooms, Public Direct 18 rooms, Public Indirect 20 rooms. We might have this situation. This is a on book. Okay, so we said we are 1 week away from arrival date, right? So our forecast is 98%. It is our on book. At the moment, on book for this date is 80%. We are expecting to finish 98, but we are at the moment 80%. And this 80% is usually looking like this. MICE government 20, MICE corporate 30, leisure group 10, public direct 10, public indirect 10. So what I'm trying to tell you is we have very high chance that some of the segment is already in because they have a longer business booking lead time. So all the groups are already in 1 week prior to arrival day. What we are expecting to pick up additionally is public indirect and public direct. We are expecting to finish 20 rooms for indirect. At the moment, on book is only 10. So we are expecting 10 more rooms. Public direct is expecting to finish with 18 rooms. At the moment, we have only 10. So we are expecting to pick up 8 more rooms from now on until arrival date, 7 days. That is our on book. If we make a decision to close OTA, our new forecast will be reduced. Why? Because MICE and group is all same. Public direct is same. So no action, public direct, we have 18 rooms. Yes, we will still have 18 rooms. Okay? But because we made a decision to close OTA, public indirect on book was only 10 and we closed from here. So we lost the opportunity to sell 10 additional rooms to become 20, which means our final forecast will be reduced to 10 rooms only. So our new forecast based on this section will be having very negative impact from 98% to 88%. But why we make this mistake, including me, I made a lot of mistakes like this. Why? Because we believe restrictions can create demand. What I mean is, if we close indirect, they will come to direct. And my direct is at the moment 18. This 18 will become 28. It is not happening. Because restrictions do not create demand. Just because we made the restrictions, it doesn't mean that my public direct will create additional business. So this is what I want to emphasize one more time. Related to our distribution. Okay, that's everything I know about distribution. So simple, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you sound sarcastic.